What is up, everybody? Thank you for checking out the Pat at a Hill podcast. Today, I'm joined by friend and comedian Danny Ingle. What's up, man?
What's happening, man? How you doing?
Yeah, dude. As soon as he gets in, he's like, "So what? You ran out of people to have on your podcast?" I was like, "No, man. I've been trying to have you on the podcast for a while." And then the one time I brought it up, you kind of like,
well, I think we were in McAllen. I think we were doing a show in McAllen.
Yeah.
We were talking about. He goes, "Oh, I think you said, hey, you should do my podcast." I go, "Yeah, let's do it." But we'll do it. And I think that's what I said. I think I said, "Yeah, we'll do it."
Yeah.
But I haven't said anything else.
And
I every week I'm watching you with different people. I'm like, mofo. No. It was funny. So no, I'm glad to. It's a really cool place too, man. It's nice.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I just so happened to find the place, so it's pretty cool. I lucked out, but I'm trying not to get kicked out of here. So we're trying to be on our best behavior and stuff. We had some wild times in here. Like we had a Halloween show that went off the rails fast, dude.
Really?
Yeah, we all got messed up.
How many people did you have in here?
It was a gathering.
A gathering.
It was a gathering.
Nice. Enough to get kicked out.
Yeah, and that's when I learned that Scott can't drink whiskey.
Oh, Scott Ramos?
Yeah, Scott Ramos. He can't hold liquor to save his life, and I had to clean up a lot of mess.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, man.
It was bad.
Dude.
It was bad.
Man.
So he's not allowed to drink liquor here.
Just all beer.
Yeah.
All beer. And
but no, man. I like having the podcast because, like, the podcast studio, just because, I mean, this is work for us, too. You know, we're promoting stuff, and, like, I'm not really good on social media, so I don't really do TikToks. I don't have, like, the online.
So I took a couple of young guys with me down to the valley. Not the valley. We did South Padre.
Uh-huh.
And that's what we were talking about, social media, because everything they did, dude, we're crossing a bridge. Hey, we're crossing a bridge right now.
Yeah.
Hey, we're doing this. I'm in the back, and just like, let's just get there and let's do the show first.
Yeah.
But I mean, for younger people, it's all about, dude. I have a Wyavette on, dude. This is what it looks like when you're older,
Yeah.
and this is man. It's like
I was like, oh, that's a pretty color.
I know, it's like getting ready for Easter.
Yeah.
But it's just it's crazy because I know, and I just started doing TikTok. So please follow me on TikTok.
Yeah.
Danny Ingle.
Yeah.
I was doing a show last week, and I was on stage, and I was trying to. I said, man, I need to start talking about doing TikToks. I said, hey guys, follow me on TikTok. And this girl goes, "What's your name on TikTok?"
Yeah.
I was like, and I was thrown off, and I said, "Oh, it's Danny Ingle." I said, because Honey Bear Wet 75 was taken already, so I just Danny Ingle. That's it. It's really easy to find.
Yeah.
But what's crazy is that I don't know how the algorithms work.
I don't
all
get that.
stuff.
Yeah.
It's just that's all they talk about. But here's what I did. A buddy of mine, his daughter was playing a basketball game. And she's young. They're all young, man. They're young. So she went up for a shot. And she does this Stephon Curry, put them to sleep.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, I've got like 84,000 views on that.
Crazy.
It's just crazy. And then everything else on my page just started, started being looked at. So
yeah, I don't get it. Like I post every now and then on TikTok and stuff, but I don't know how to get more views and stuff. Like I made a joke because the other day I posted a clip of just a stand-up.
Right.
I forget what it was. I think it was like not crowd work, but I was messing with somebody that kept wooing. This guy kept wooing instead of laughing.
That, yeah.
I was like, woo, like who woos?
Yeah.
So I made a clip of that, and that got like 100 likes, and I was like, oh, that's amazing. Because like,
what kind of man are you?
Isn't a big deal, but like 100 likes, I was like, oh man, I'm gonna fucking take off on TikTok. It's gonna happen. It's all happening. But I was like, that's just I don't know what I did. I don't know what hashtag I used or what. So I don't get it. But a lot of the young comics or younger comics, I guess, they have that. They understand what they watch and what gets their attention. So, because I'm not really on TikTok, I don't watch it. I don't do reels. Like
I've within the last 2 months, it's like a rabbit hole, dude. You get on and you start watching. Be careful what you're watching, looking at, because I don't really like a lot, unless it's somebody I know. I'll like it. I think, in fact, I liked your, or was it on Instagram?
Could have been on Instagram too. Yeah,
might have been Instagram. So I'm just kind of. Yeah, and it's just like it's like grown ass man like my shit.
It does seem kind of
guy.
Yeah, it does seem kind of creepy and stuff. Like it can't like other girls' stuff, because I don't know if my wife's gonna find out. Like, why is that on the algorithm?
It's only when she finds out, not if she's gonna find out.
Yeah, dude. Like she's on it all the time. Like my wife sends me like reels, and it's so annoying. Like it hurts when she laughs at other people's content, with other people's jokes. I was like, well, you don't laugh like that with me. You know?
Yeah. All of a sudden, you're the jealous one.
Yes, dude.
The roles have been turned.
But so like she'll send me like funny memes. I like dog memes. Like dog memes are funny, but I don't get like people joking.
Dude, you know
whatever.
what? You know what? I don't know why it makes me laugh so much is when kids get hurt. And I'm talking about like running the wall or glass. Dude, those are hilarious. But I don't have kids, so it's just like makes it even funnier. But no, I mean, but as long as you're okay. I mean, it's not like I don't want kids being hurt all the time.
Oh,
it's like,
okay.
Yeah, no, they run into it because first of all, their parents are the ones filming them, and so
you forget about that.
Yeah,
instead of checking on them, making sure they're okay,
exactly.
They're just like, this is gonna get.
And they're like over them with the phone, just like get up. It's like. Kids up, but no, I've never seen them bleed or anything else. I'm just saying that they run into stuff. I think those are funny, or even when people run into doors or glass doors. Those are good.
It's so crazy because like that used to be before like social media and stuff. That was that America's Funniest Videos,
right? Yeah,
right. And that did okay.
But it didn't really on, dude. Is it still on? Yes, that show's been. They've gone through like 4 different hosts.
Oh, see, I didn't know it was still on. I thought it just went away. Like okay,
I thought this is how sad. This is when you know when you're older. And so it comes on Sunday evening, right before or at the same time as 60 Minutes.
You still watch scheduled programming? That is pretty old.
Yeah, I know.
That's
right?
Pretty old.
I know.
I just do streaming stuff, so I'm not on any type of schedule. But I did. I tried watching. Because Chris Rock, I don't know if you heard this.
It was on last night.
Yeah, a live special taping.
Right.
Which is kind of ridiculous, I think. Because, like, people usually do it like 2-3 shows and then slice that together, the best of, and that's the special.
Yeah.
And we tried watching it yesterday, but we had just finished watching the UFC fights.
Okay.
So it's kind of hard to go from watching people kick each other's ass to like sit down and listen to a man
talking about kicking ass.
And I was just like, so I couldn't. I got to rewatch it because we were just kind of like, we weren't ready. We weren't set up for a stand-up watching type of thing.
So do you watch a lot of stand-up?
No, I prefer to listen. I like comedy albums. I rarely sit through a whole special.
Right.
Yeah, it's been a while since I'll watch clips and pieces, but I can't watch the whole thing.
And then also it depends on who it is too.
Yeah, for sure.
And then I'll see people I've worked with years ago, or something, and I catch myself watching more podcasts and stuff more than I do comedy shows because I don't want to be influenced by a joke either.
That's the thing too.
That's the big thing.
Yeah.
Because you're watching, you're going, oh man, that was good.
Yeah.
And then you start thinking, okay, what can I do to relate to something like that? And you're like, all of a sudden you feel like you're coming back to what they were talking about. So you want to stay away from all that.
For sure. I don't want to be influenced by that. Yeah. But I enjoy listening to albums just because like it's, even though it takes away the visual
and you
part of it, like
albums.
Yeah.
Really? Oh, so you're talking about old school comedy?
I mean, people still put out albums.
Really?
Yeah.
Man, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah, George Anthony did one. Just audio.
Who?
George Anthony. No, but like people do that. Like I have one out there. I don't promote it, but I put it out.
I haven't seen George and Roll in a while.
Yeah, man, they're busy. They do Austin a lot.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I see that they're up there quite a bit.
Yeah. Austin's fucking blowing up, man. It's kind of intimidating how oversaturated it is because like even if I do get out there, like I don't go out there for mics. Like if I have a show, I'll go out there and just hang out as much as I can. But there's so many comics, there's so many people, and there's like 6 or 7 clubs.
But it's always been. I remember I did an open mic at Cap City years ago.
Yeah,
dude, and there was 60 people on the list back then.
Yeah, dude.
And it was funny because I was already doing comedy for a little while, and I was doing and the bar shops had owned the club at one time too up there. So I was able to jump in like the top, within the top 10.
Yeah.
Man, dude, people were like, who's this guy? And it's like, and I was like, just do my spot and leave. I'm out of here.
Yeah,
I know what I came for. But yeah, I haven't done an open mic in years. Like I can't remember the last time.
Yeah.
I'll go by and watch. I watched some after doing a show locally. And I think I went to it was a place on Fredericksburg, Tavern Place or something. And everybody's outside. I go, why aren't you guys inside watching all the other comics?
Yeah.
And that way you get, but now it was more of just a social gathering. And I thought, but these are all, like I said, they're all young people.
And that's what it is mostly, just for the mics. It's just a social gathering.
And it's always been like that.
Yeah. Like I started right before things like changed.
Now, okay, so how old were you when you first jumped on a mic?
35.
35.
Yeah.
Okay. So you got in the game, but you were in bands. You were right.
I played music before, so I knew what it was to be on stage and rehearse and kind of understand that stuff. So I mean, it was a little bit easier to go from bands to. I was just looking for a way to get back on stage. I couldn't find a band. I couldn't get a band
was
together.
Just out of the question.
I was 35. It's too late to start. You know.
Yeah. Man, sagging. It's already sagging up there.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I tried. I applied, but it's a lot of politics and stripping.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just started doing stand up at 35, and that was right when the comedy club downtown, they just closed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, see, when I started, I was 40 years old.
Oh, okay.
Dude, I've never the first time, and this is like if I was to jump on a mic when I first. It was like in early 80s. And I just said, it's pretty cool. But there was a lot of people back then trying to do, and a lot of, mostly, I want to say, some Air Force people too. Because, the base, all the bases and stuff.
Yeah.
But comedy wasn't quite like what it is now. Not when I went back then. Everybody was, it started with the next few years. All of a sudden, we had like 4 comedy clubs in San Antonio.
4?
Yeah. We had, so River Center was downtown. That was like one of the last ones open. It was River Center. There was one right by UTSA Bowl.
Wow.
Yeah, and then there was one on, there was a place called Jokesters, actually, on Thousand Oaks and 281.
Okay.
And there was a place over by Bassy, it was like I forgot the comedy club there, but yeah.
So the Laugh Out Loud wasn't open, was it?
Yeah, it was. Oh no, it wasn't even right now. That was the bar shop's on the one downtown.
Okay.
So they didn't open that one until way later on. I'm talking, dude. This is like back in the '80s when all the clubs were.
Oh, okay, okay.
It was funny because when you look back then, people that were headlining back then, like at some of these clubs, like you're thinking, that's why a lot of people want to do comedy.
Yeah.
It was like everybody was doing it.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, the guys that were really good, they were really good. And then there was the people that were famous that would come by, like, because they were on TV. Gabe Kaplan. Could you imagine Gabe Kaplan from Welcome Back, Kotter, that old show from the 70s?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
John Travolta was on.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he was a comic. And there was a lot of different guys. Howie Mandel used to come by.
Yes.
Back then,
I knew Howie Mandel, yeah.
Yeah.
With the glove thing that he puts on his head and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. How hard was it to get your name out? Because now we have your podcast, we have social media and stuff. How do you even promote yourself?
So here's what happened, and this is what was different back then. You would work at the club, the comedy club.
Yeah.
Okay. And not work. You would just go do open mics, and you would do open mics where you're trying to get in and be seen. And you're there. We used to have an open mic on Friday afternoons or Friday evenings, right before the main show downtown.
Yeah.
And then they would have the midnight show. But before you could get on the midnight show, you had to work your way into the little groove. And then we used to have Saturday afternoon shows at 3 o'clock at River Center. Mm-hmm. And those were packed. I mean, dude, there was like 300 people there at an afternoon show. And it was mostly people that were in the malls and stuff.
Yeah.
So we'd go downstairs and bark, and hey, there's a comedy club show. And they'd walk in there, and people would have a good time.
Yeah.
And most of us, right, and so once you got on and they started regular on the mics, then you did a week like hosting, and then they were kind of grooming you though. So back then they were actually teaching you. Something flew out of my mouth. They're teaching you how to do comedy, and and what they were looking for. That's why when I tell a lot of young people, I go, first of all, when you first start, you just don't want to cuss because you're going to be hosting, and that's what they don't want.
Yeah.
And I said, after you host and whatever. Do whatever you do, find your voice, and then you're going to find your voice.
Yeah.
So you can just do whatever. So then you're hosting for touring comics, And then they were like, hey, man, you know, it's like, and they liked you and stuff. They said, hey, they'll put your name out. They'll let you know. And they go, hey, man, you should, if you want to do a show, I'll talk to whatever. And back then, this is how crazy it was. Dude, people were sending VHS tapes to clubs. VHS tapes.
That's crazy.
From Blockbuster.
Yeah.
But it's just that kind of thing. It was like, man, how crazy is that?
Yeah.
And I never did, but I was able to go with some guys every now and then out of town. And then once you start getting like different clubs under your belt, then you start, you know, and that's how it was. Now, dude, you could put TikTok clips, and all of a sudden they're booking you for headlining rooms.
Yeah.
And it's crazy.
It's a whole different thing too now, because now like there's people that are just like in it for like the celebrity of it, like
right.
They're celebrities on your phone. They're, you know, they got numbers on TikTok, numbers on Instagram, you know, whatever. And then there's people that actually like enjoy the art of comedy,
right?
You know, but it doesn't matter. As whoever can bring people, put asses in the seats. That's all that
they're
matters.
looking for.
Yeah,
but
dude.
you'll start finding when people start, you'll start rising above.
Yeah,
and people see it too, even though they say, "Oh, I like that guy," but it's just like, you know, how many times can you talk about whatever you do on your TikTok?
Yeah,
that it's not, because it's going to run out. You know, I've seen people who on TikTok. Let me see. It's a family, like this guy and his wife. Pretty much him and his wife, and so she's white and he's Mexican. He's talking about, you know, and they've used every thing that's comics have been talking about for years.
Yeah,
it's that whole Latino thing.
Yeah,
and Mexican American thing, and it's funny. And it's funny what they do. It is funny, but it's all been done. But they're just rehashing it in their own way.
Yeah,
but there's nothing that's new about it.
I mean, but that's comedy.
Right.
That's just comedy.
Everything,
you know,
that's what I'm saying.
Everything's been touched. Everything's been talked about.
Everything has, unless there's like something that's going to fall out of the sky that we haven't seen before.
Yeah.
That, you know, somebody's going to talk about. But if it's anything to do with marriages, relationships, anything else, they're going to, you know, it's a whole different thing.
Yeah.
And I was telling, it's funny because me being my age, I just remember my dad when I was younger. My dad was, man, I mean, when you talk about like old school Latinos, dude, there was no, you know, because we talk about how, and people my age, they talk about younger people just being soft with their feelings and stuff.
Yeah.
We didn't have a choice back then.
Yeah.
It was just like,
it wasn't really acceptable to like feel feelings.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I did this joke, and the thing is, I just have to really work on it, and I'm trying to see how much I can get away with it, because when I was young, let me back up. So my dad, who's so mellow now compared to when he was young, and so my little nephew came out of the closet. And so, you know, and he was telling, my dad was like, well, you know, we have to respect his feelings and stuff. And he's like, my dad's like being really nice and sensitive. So like, who is this man? I don't remember this guy at all. And he's, you know, but I mean, it's a good thing that he's like that now.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's what happens with older people, because he is old. He's 85.
Wow.
But it's just like, it's just different now.
Yeah.
And so, because I remember, and I was telling my nephew this, you know, it's like almost you want to, you know, it was at my parents' house, and it's like, I go, dude, little sidebar, let me tell you something about your grandfather, like years ago. And he was like, what? I go, dude, when I was a kid, everybody, like, we didn't have a choice as far as getting our hair cut. We had to get our hair cut the way, you know, your parents, you know, you just got a haircut. You didn't tell them what you wanted. They gave it to you. So my dad had a friend who had a barber shop, and dude, it's like all old men in there, or not old men, just all men in there, all Mexican men. It was on the south side of San Antonio. And I told my dad, I go, hey, Dad, I want to get my hair cut. I want my hair to grow out longer. I want it like that guy from that TV show. It was a Partridge Family, David Cassidy. I said, he has long hair like that. My dad's like, what? And he's like right there. What? You know, he's already screaming that.
Yeah.
We walk in, he tells everybody in the barbershop, and it's like, and they're all calling me names. And I'm sitting there, I was like, get my hair cut. It was like, so what a different time. Like, you know, you just didn't say anything. It was like, getting the haircut. It's like, man. And dude, so every time you come in, or else, it's like, I go, I want my hair to grow long like Donny Osmond. And then you walk in the barbershop, hey, puppy love, come here, amigo. Dude, it was just crazy back then. Yeah. What a different time. So,
Did you ever get to have that haircut that you wanted?
Yeah, I was 30. It didn't happen until now. I was like, now and then you're wishing, man, I wish I had hair now. Man, I lose all my hair. That's what happens. You get old. But yeah, it was funny. It was until, like I said, I think it was after you move out till you start. When you're living under. Back then, that's how it was. Rules of the house. And my dad was strict too.
Yeah, you don't make your own choices until you pay your own bills.
Mm-hmm. Oh, even if you're living in their house. I mean, but I moved out right away.
Yeah.
I mean, right after high school, I moved out. It was just because we had friends back then. Rent was cheaper. We were all working, part time going to school, and so it was just like I just wanted to leave. Because when you grew up in a house with 6 people, my parents, when there was 4 kids. Like, you didn't have any privacy.
Oh, yeah.
You have no alone time.
Yeah.
Discover yourself.
Yeah.
Hurry up.
It's my turn.
Yeah. It was like, oh, man. So, yeah. So, I couldn't wait to. And it was funny because a lot of people who. It depends because, like, my sister was the youngest. She was the first one to have a kid. And it's like, and she wanted to have a kid. I was like, growing up in a house with a lot of people, you don't want to do that.
Yeah.
But back after high school and stuff, I had a cousin who started doing comedy here in town, and so he started like right away when he was young. And I was like, I just went to go work, and I always wanted to do comedy. I still wanted to do comedy, and then it was until later on when I told my wife, I said, hey, I'm going to do comedy. She was like, what? I said, but she knew I always wanted to, and that was it. Like it wasn't like a. Hey, by the way,
yeah,
because we were together for a long time, and I was working and stuff, so she was working, and we didn't have any kids.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's kind of like the same thing. You
no kids. Yeah.
And it's easier to kind of do things, but the one thing I will tell, and I was just talking to some young guy just the other night. I said, dude, don't leave your job. Don't think that you're gonna take off and go jump on the. It's like you know what it's
so
like.
Funny,
it's like when a kid I'm gonna join the circus. Leave town.
Yeah.
No. You're just stay where you're at. If you want to do because, comedy's kind of funny, and but it's not just comedy. It's like anything.
Yeah.
Even like with bands and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean everything. You want to be able to save, do something, and have a place. I mean that's just me. I mean, but that's growing
sure.
up. That was just instilled in me back then. Like that's just what you want to do. I think that's why I've been, even though I started really late, I've been lucky to do what I've done.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, to go all over, I've gone to 24, 26 countries.
That's amazing, dude.
That's crazy.
Just with comedy.
Yeah, just doing comedy. I have friends who were in the military. They said, dude, I've been to like 20. I was like, dude, I didn't take a gun with me.
Yeah.
I was just like, but now I didn't perform at the countries. I was performing on the ship, but we were docked, and we get there, and so you visit all these places.
How far in did you start doing the cruises?
I didn't start doing cruises till let's see, probably about 12 years in.
Okay.
I think something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or 15 years. No, about 12. Yeah, because I was doing for 3 years. Because what I would go, and it was good because what I would do, I would go do 2 weeks. And like I didn't leave, I never left out of Texas. It was Alaska, it was in Florida, or out in Europe. Mm-hmm. So then I would go to Europe. I would be gone a month and then come home for a week and then take off back again.
Yeah.
So, but I was only gone for 2 weeks at a time. That was it. That's what made it really fun.
Yeah.
Because I see those people that work on cruise ships that are there for like 6 months.
Forever.
Dude, after a week, I couldn't even stand to see those. Not those people.
Yeah.
I couldn't stand to just see, be on the ship. I wanted to get off the ship.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Like, to me, the appeal of just going on a cruise is just now making sense to me. Before I was like, why would you want to be stuck on a boat for so long? But now I'm just like, they have everything there?
Dude.
Food, entertainment?
You're
there?
In your room. You're in your room. Then you get, and see, now we had it set up. It's not, I have friends that do Carnival, and it's like, man, they do like 3 shows a day or something.
Yeah.
Dude, we did 1 show a night. 1.
That's it?
That was it.
Wow.
It was a late show. It was like either 10:30 or 11.
Uh-huh.
So you have all day, and I only did, because see, when I got the contract for it, it said feature act. but you're really the host because there's only 2 people doing the show. So, and they only want you doing, like me being the opener, I only did like 15 minutes a night. That's it. And the headliner was doing like 25 minutes. They wanted everybody to have fun at the show because it took long to get everything together, get everybody to start the show, but they want them back out at the bars, the casinos, spending money. That's why.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just like a little slide perk for us to do the show.
Yeah.
But it was perfect because it wasn't like I don't know if you've ever seen like some of the cruises and you see the big auditoriums that they have. It's like,
no, I haven't. I haven't seen it yet.
It's like it's huge. We did ours in a room that only sat like 200 people.
That's a big crowd.
I know, right? I'd say only
200 people. That's a big crowd. Yeah.
But here's the thing: there's 4,000 people on the ship.
Yeah.
So we would only do one show, and the aisles were filled up. Dude, I had to walk over people to get on stage.
Wow.
That's how crazy it was. Wow. And it was fun. I mean, it was. And what I just didn't do, because we didn't have these kind of phones when I was doing the cruises. We didn't have TikTok. We didn't have. I just didn't, use my camera. I would have looked like I'm over here in Rome right now, and it's like, I just didn't do that.
Yeah.
Because I'm a terrible social media guy, but that would have been looking like
who had the insight? Like one day I'm going to put this on a social network.
Yeah.
And I'm going to share it with everybody. But nah. How strict were those shows though? Like, do you have to? They tell you like guidelines. You can't do this. You can't do that.
They're not as bad as the military shows. Those are really strict. This one was just kind of like, you don't really want to dog the guest or anything. Like,
Yeah.
It's just, because they're on the cruise ships, they're having fun. And just have fun. Just that's why I just made fun of myself, have fun, have a good time. I wasn't up there very long. And they enjoyed it because everybody had it. They loved the shows.
Yeah.
Our shows. And they told people, if you saw the guys perform once, just go one time. People kept going back and didn't allow other people.
They won the crowd just watch this one time.
They were trying to be just saying, hey, because it's going to be the same. They want us to do the same act every night. So they're saying because that way it gives other people a chance.
Oh, they wanted you to do the same act.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they don't. Yeah, because like I said, 4,000 people. Only 200 people in at a show.
Did you have to like write out their script?
Remember.
No, you have to submit their script. Like, this is all I'm going to say.
No, it's not like, you don't have to do that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
How would they know that you're doing the same thing?
No, they just they'll tell you if you just to do it, so that way they could tell the guests that you're going to be doing the same stuff. And a lot of times, maybe I couldn't remember if I did that. It was like when you're only doing, when you have like maybe a couple hours of material, and you're thinking, which 15 or what can I do? But you want to do something that they can relate to, because when you're in Europe, what are you going to talk about?
Oh, okay.
They're going to say, oh, that's okay. I can relate to that. But they always did, and we had a good time. It was fun.
Interesting. I heard this story. I forget which cruise it was or which comic it was, but like he was doing a cruise and said something that he wasn't supposed to, either like cussed or said a certain word or whatever, and they fired him and flew him off.
Oh yeah.
Like they got rid of him like immediately. Like they didn't play with that stuff.
The very first cruise I did, I didn't know really what they wanted, and I had no idea because they just said, "Hey, now how I got on the cruise." Randy Butler, the owner of Hyenas Comedy Club, he had said, "Hey, how would you feel about doing some cruise?" I said, "Yeah." Dude. And so one of his good friends, John Payton, who had the club in Vegas, he was the one who was looking for some comics. He wanted some Texas comics also. He had some Vegas comics, but he wanted some Texas comics because, like, we're halfway to fly to Florida.
Yeah.
Because they're also looking at like how much is it going to cost, to fly people across. And he had me go up there. First night, I did the first show I did. I didn't really know, it was kind of, they didn't like me. Like, they were like, nah. So our first stop was in St. Thomas. I did one more show before I left. And so when I did the next show, I kind of had an idea, this is what they wanted to do. So it was, they really liked me afterwards, but they already were sending me back from St. Thomas. I flew back to San Antonio. Yeah. And so then, like, 2 weeks later, they go, "Hey, man, we want you to do this again." It was our fault. We didn't know what we wanted you to, we should have asked you about or told you what we wanted. Yeah. And I said, "Oh, cool." So then after that, then I kept doing them. Like, I was doing them on a regular basis. I really wasn't even doing clubs at that time because you're too busy. And then on top of that, dude, you have, like we were talking about, you have everything there.
Mm-hmm.
You have your food. You have, you don't have to travel. Well, I mean, you do have to travel to get there, but once you're there,
you're set.
You're set. So it was nice, man. I was like,
but it's so funny because
the pay was just like crazy.
Oh yeah,
it was good pay.
Dang.
So, yeah, military shows also pay really well, and that you have to watch about what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And they tell you anyway. They kind of brief you on everything. I had all this paperwork and stuff.
Yeah.
And now the one thing about the cruises, there's also the thing about the cruises, like you can't be dating people from which is like, oh, that's an easy one because I can't anyway. So,
yeah.
But they can't. Yeah, you're not supposed to.
I already signed that contract before.
Yeah, and it was a lot longer than this one right here. Because on that one, there's also a part where it says, "To death do you part."
Yeah.
But no, with the military ones, they just tell you, don't talk about this, don't talk about that, and everything. And they do background checks and everything on you. Yeah. So
really?
Yeah. Because they're not going to fly you. I mean, I was in Japan or South Korea.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You're at the bases over there, and even have to have
you
your
got to get special clearance.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So it was cool. I mean, it was pretty cool though. I like those. In fact, Big Al just did a military show overseas.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and so he did the same one I did, which was, and I did this one a few years ago, where you're in Okinawa. You have 5 bases there, and then one in Japan, in Tokyo, Japan, and then one in South Korea.
Man, that's cool, dude. To travel like that.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Nice.
Yeah.
So now I'm done. Like, I'll just stop doing comedy in a couple of years.
Yeah.
That's a good thing about comedy. You can do comedy as long as you want, but
yeah,
I'm looking forward to just saying, hey, I think, and it's fun when you first start out, just being out of town all the time, and then after a while, dude, that stuff gets old. Like, I could care less if I'm out. I would love to just do shows around Texas. I'm in Texas.
You can hit a lot of spots in Texas. Just
because I used
El Paso,
to do the
Laredo.
Oklahoma run. I used to do the, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Kansas. I mean, a lot of places. Now, it's just like there's so much now. I mean, you just mentioned the Austin scene. Man, there's places you can go. Now, I like doing, in fact, when I did the South Padre, that club, I mean, that place down there, it was all travelers from older people. And it was they were fun.
Yeah,
they wanted to have a good time. I think a lot of times when people work with me, they're like, "Oh man, your crowd's going to be there," which is I did it at La Familia last week here in San Antonio.
Yeah,
dude, it was a good turnout, a lot of people, and everybody that was on that show did really well.
Yeah,
and I haven't seen half of them. I never worked with them.
Oh, okay.
And they did really good.
How's that set up like? Do they have like a stage or have like a performance area?
Yeah, there's a stage area. There's good and bad. Good is like it's packed in there, and the bad is it's packed in there. So it's hard to get around and stuff.
Oh, okay.
But people could see, and they're it's nice. It's just I don't know if I wasn't really making fun of it. I said I'm coming full circle because when I first started doing comedy, I wasn't doing as many of the comedy clubs. I was doing most of the restaurants and stuff.
Yeah.
And now I've done everything. I've done anything for years, and now I'm back to the restaurants again. I was like, what's happening with my career here? So, but it's good because it's right. It's close, and you drive home.
Yeah.
That's a good thing.
What's so funny, like I used to do this when I was in bands. Like I would just look at it like a room, and I was like, "Oh, this could be a good place for a show, a rock show, whatever." And now I do that every time I'm like at a bar or another restaurant. I was like, "Oh, that's a little area where we could just do stand up, set up some speakers, put some lights, and
right."
It's so annoying that that's how I'm always thinking like where to perform, where to set up a situation to like just put a mic and start doing comedy.
Yeah, well, and the good thing that it's that room is set up for the show, so like people aren't accidentally walking in there and saying, "Hey, what's going on?" I'm here to my enchiladas and what's this guy on the stage, big fat ass on the stage talking some shit. So that's the good thing about I like things that are separate.
Because you want to give the whoever's in the room, you want to give them an option. Do you want to stay here? Do you want to go not here?
Right. Like I don't do outside shows.
Oh, they're tough, dude.
They're horrible.
They're tough.
I've opened up one time. It was a church festival for. There's a guy who's popular in San Antonio years ago. Oh, he's still popular. He's really good. He's a legend. Who's a legend who I can't remember his name right now.
Yeah, had such a huge impact on me. I don't know his name.
Yeah, I have all his music in my iTunes.
Yeah,
but he was. I opened up for him, dude. Nobody was there to see me. And I'm up there, and it's open, and people are just like looking, like waiting to see they're going to see some magic or something. Yeah. And so it's just anything outdoor, and it carries. You don't hear people, and there were people laughing because I was just. Yeah. It's kind of like all of a sudden you go, "Oh, this is a challenge. I'm gonna make them laugh." Well, let's see. And so, but. You know, the drummer, everybody, because if the band's getting ready to start, the drummer's giving me a,
oh, yeah.
I was like, oh, nice. Thanks.
Yeah.
That's what I needed.
Man, that's rough, dude. I the last guest that I had, he just came off a tour doing comedy in front of a rock band. And I was like, dude, like, that seems like such a stressful thing because nobody's there to see comedy. They're there to see their favorite band.
Right.
You know, and like, so you're the bad guy there. Just make your announcements and let's go on with the show. But he said it was a blast. He said he had to do like 12 to 15 minutes, and he said it was amazing that he wants to do it all the time.
See, now what you can do too, depending, like if it's going to be, you can talk about what people experience with the, rock and roll shows and stuff.
Yeah.
And so you could make it funny, and people are there, and they'll laugh. They'll have a good time about it.
Yeah.
Because you could talk about all the horror, man. Dude, now I just couldn't, like, have you gone to a concert lately? Like a big concert?
Yeah. I mean, I still go to concerts.
Yeah. I mean, like, I'm just talking about, like, the tickets and how much everything is.
Oh, so expensive. But yeah.
Dude, I remember a few years ago, and it's been a number of years, when Rolling Stones were coming to town. I said, and I've seen them this is like the third or fourth time I've seen them, and so I kept saying, oh yeah, well, tickets aren't so bad. They're like $300 way up on top.
Dang.
I was like, I don't know if I
don't like them that much.
Yeah, but we went.
You still went?
Yeah, we went because and so we kept saying, oh, they're gonna die. Let's just see them one more time before they die.
Yeah.
And, Charlie Watts died.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's just, I don't see how young people can afford to go see some of these shows that are just crazy.
Yeah.
They're crazy.
I mean, for what it's worth, like, I bought my wife Pink tickets. You know Pink?
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see, yeah.
You heard of this?
The guy I'm trying to remember, he was back, like, from the early 60s. People up there were Curtin. I remember the Curtin people.
But, I mean, like, low key, I'm a Pink fan because I mean this will be our second or third time seeing her, but it's a big production.
Yeah, dude,
she does like Circus Soleil shit or whatever it's called, Circus Soleil. So like I think the tickets for that were like about $90 a seat. But I mean, you're gonna see a show for something like that. But like with Rolling Stones, they don't go flying out there.
But here's the thing too, how much music? Here's another. Like I would rather watch a local band play, and if they're covering songs, whatever, I enjoy it. Then pay for somebody who, like, this is the argument I had with my nephew, like The Weeknd. He was man, I love The Weeknd. I'm gonna go check out The Weeknd. I go, dude. He has like 3 or 4 songs.
No, dude.
I'm just saying. This is what we're doing, and that's what he was saying. I go, look. I want 3 albums that's going to contain all their greatest hits. When he has that, come back to me. And then he was like, well, that's because they're all old. I was like, rest my case.
Yeah.
But they have all that music. And music, but I like The Weeknd. I mean, it's just, but I just wouldn't go to a concert. And people probably feel the same way about going to go see comedy.
Yeah. It amazes me when people are there at a comedy show. I was like, man, like you came out to this stuff?
Yeah, you can't. It was like.
Especially open mics. The LOL open mic on Tuesday always has a great crowd.
Oh, yeah.
A big crowd. And I was like, you're watching people. And it also gives people like the false, I don't know what the word is, but like. People that go there,
I know what you're saying exactly, because when they hear some laughter,
yeah,
so they're thinking,
those are your friends. I'm great, yeah,
those are your friends that are.
But yeah, and like some comics they just do that Tuesday, and what sucks is because like it's a limited spots. You know, there's 25 spots. It's a random, draw.
So are these the same people that put on their on their Facebook comedian underneath their name and stuff?
Yeah, dude.
Dude, it took me 5 years till I was like, and I didn't even, and I waited till I was on like a regular at the club.
Yeah.
That I would even put. On my MySpace back then.
Yeah, jeez.
It took forever for me to do that. I just didn't want to. I don't know.
Nah, I felt that. Like on my social media, I put podcaster that does comedy.
Yeah.
Because I am a podcaster, a comedian. I don't know, but yeah, I've just come to terms with that.
You've had your podcast for a long time now.
Yeah, I've been doing the podcast for 6 years, and then comedy for 5. So I started doing the podcast.
Do you put clips of your podcasts on like TikTok or anything like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you do.
Yeah.
So
Big fan here. Yeah. Thanks for your support, man.
I've watched it.
Dude.
But I've seen you put some, like I said, on your Instagram, and you know what? In fact, you do.
And that's the thing too. I put the exact same thing on Instagram on TikTok. So like there is no separation. Yeah. So I don't know. I'm trying to see how it works, but yeah.
And it's just knowing where to, do you use CapCut or what do you use when you're?
InShot mostly.
Okay.
But yeah.
See, I'm just acting. I'm pretending like I know what I'm talking about. Like I use CapCut. I just used it one time for the first time.
Yeah, I have it on my phone and stuff. But yeah, and that's another thing too. Like with clips, like I don't put like a lot of effort into it. I don't do like captions too much. I don't like the work.
Okay.
I don't like the work, and then it doesn't pay off.
Comics, if you're gonna put a clip of you doing stand up, have a punchline where you're gonna get people are laughing. People just go up there, do something, and that's it.
Yeah,
that's it. I mean, it's like a minute thing, or not even a minute. It's just I see a lot of them, and it's just like hey, hi everybody, and it's like it's already done. I was like, I thought you were gonna put something on there.
Yeah,
and so and I'm the worst. Like I don't have anything. Like you can't go up and find. I had some stuff a while back, years ago, but then I took a lot of it down because I was getting booked to do a lot of church shows also.
Oh, okay.
And I just didn't want to say, hey, motherfucker.
Yeah,
What? We hired this guy to... And it's just, even though I don't cuss on stage, I had some stuff back when I was starting out. We talked about finding your voice. I didn't, I kind of...
Were you raunchy? Did you start off raunchy, edgy?
Well, no, I would cuss, but I didn't, I still, I would just... I would cuss where I knew they wouldn't be comfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I was never really dirty. I wasn't dirty. But I think it's, and it's funny because I've had people tell, they all think like, I don't know, I have this reputation like I'm a clean comic. Mm-hmm. There's nothing about my comedy that's clean. Mm-hmm. I'm talking about oral jokes. I'm talking about all this other stuff. Mm-hmm. I go, what? It's just, I just don't cuss. That's the only thing.
Yeah.
But if I'm going to do a church show, of course, I clean everything up. I just do a whole different
That's
set.
So stressful, man. I couldn't do a church show. And I'm not a dirty comic either. I don't cuss that much.
No, you really don't.
But it's just the subject matter. I just think it's the subject matter too much for a church show.
Right.
You know?
I think, and you know what? And to be honest, it's funny. I think they're even easier to do than a comedy club.
Really?
Because they're just so glad that you're there, being a comedian and you're gonna you'll think about whatever you're gonna talk about. Comedy club, I think it's even harder because there's a lot more pressure at a comedy club.
Yeah.
I mean, when you go to different towns, and I think after doing it for so long, now do you still get nervous? Like really nervous? Like if you're hoping they're gonna like your material?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
After a while, you just go, I just hope we have some, you'll start thinking about, I just hope I have some good people in the audience.
The last show that we did, Rebecca Creek, that I did before you, or featured or whatever, that room made me almost have a panic attack.
Really?
Because I didn't see anybody that I assumed would relate to what I'm.
And they liked you a lot.
I had fun.
Yeah, they were a
great.
A lot.
They were a great crowd.
It was good.
But yeah, I always prejudge the people, which is a bad thing to do. But like I legit almost I didn't want to go up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I get like that all the time.
And they laughed, and see, that's why I think that's what happens. You know what happened that night too when I was up there? Okay, so you had because you had to go.
I had another show.
Another show. So
I wish I would have stuck around.
So when I was up there, and dude, the crowd was just and that's what makes it easier because you had them laughing a lot, dude. I just went in and it just I knew it was they were gonna just be loud, they were laughing. So I'm up there. And this is maybe 20 minutes into the show, 20 or 30 minutes, and then also the security guard comes in with the flashlight. And he goes, excuse me. And I was like, we have a car that needs to be moved.
Oh, yeah,
so if somebody could, move their car. And he starts describing the car and everything. And so I'm just standing there. And then he leaves. And I'm just like watching him walk out. I said, okay, guys, because it's a packed house. I said, this is how he should have handled it.
Yeah.
They could have brought up a note.
Yeah.
You know, and said, and I could look at it and said, hey, can somebody move? You know, we live in a time where shit's just happening all the time. People are going into places and shooting places up. You're in a packed house and you're going, excuse me, like, you know, I'm going to kill this guy or whatever. It's like, you know, so, you know, you don't want the crowd to pack. So, dude, I did like 10 minutes of just him making fun of him after he left because he had a gun. After he left. But he just gave me more material. And so all the guys and all the comics, you know, because all the comics are back there, they were freaking out like, and they're asking me, was that planned? I go, I don't know that. How was I going to plan? Come and interrupt me halfway after I'm having a really good set. You want to kill the vibe. No, it was just, and then everything kept rolling again.
Yeah.
But they're just like, you know, I said, that's just being on stage all the time. That's all it is. You're on stage and you'll see, you know, you'll find how to deal with certain things because you've experienced them. And that's all it is, just experience. It's just like with any job.
Yeah. But yeah, it always I judge the audience and I look at everybody. Like I did a show opening for a guy who was on America's Got Talent, right? So he got Samuel J. Comroe, and he blew up from that. I mean, he was doing comedy before, but AGT really put him on the map and stuff. But his crowd couldn't be more diverse. Old people, young thugs with tattoos on their necks and stuff. And I was like, this crowd doesn't make, like, there was no uniformity in any of it.
Trying to figure out where am I going to go with this? What am I going to talk about?
Yeah, there were all 5 shows were all a mixed crowd, and I was like, this is ridiculous. Like, because I guess he connects with all different types of people, and it was pretty crazy because like usually I'm like, oh, it's a bunch of rich people, you know, older Mexicans, you know, this, that, whatever. Couldn't get a read on in that room at any time because it was just so mixed. So I just need to relax and just do my thing, and hopefully they accept it.
Yeah, just do, and you know, and it's just, but you know, it's always been, I think, the one thing we talked about, like driving down to to shows and stuff. It's just a matter of confidence up on stage, and that's what the crowd reads. Yeah, and it's just, you know, and they can see it, and the more you're up there, and it's just being comfortable. What you're going to talk about, how you start the show off, because I think it's always it's the craziest thing how you start a comedy show is like, what do y'all want to talk about? Kind of, what do you want to talk about? But no, it's just, so when you're playing, you know, people always think like I'll do crowd work, but I'm not really doing crowd work. I'm doing part of what the joke that I'm doing. And remember when we did the casino in Eagle Pass? Yeah. And when I was talking about, I was doing a joke about never play that game where with your girlfriend or your spouse about celebrity crush. I said, because that's what happened. You know, that when the first time we went out, it was on a date, and you know we're at a basketball game. They asked me, "Who's your celebrity crush?" I'm into the game. And I'm drinking beer. And I was like, Cindy Crawford. And I said that. They'll never forget. Yeah. They'll never forget. Yeah. And so from that time on till whatever, dude, up until like a couple years ago, hey, Rooms of Gold's on. Hey, your girlfirl's on. That's the kind of thing. So when that guy said, when I asked him, I said, hey, this lady was laughing so much and she's hitting her husband. And so I go, she goes, and she said, ask him who his celebrity crush is. Yeah. And I said, who is it? And he says, Rachel Ray. I go, Rachel Ray?
Dude, I remember that.
Man, I was like, that's like a regular girl. It was like, Rachel, man, it's like, Oh man! And then I looked at his wife and said, "Oh well, no, just kidding. No." But that was the funniest thing.
Yeah,
I was like,
that was a tough room too, man, because like everybody was so far away. Like
oh
I thought they were gonna have chairs on the dance floor, but we had the whole dance floor and then the whole row of people.
You know what didn't help was that the whole thing's open. See, that's what I like. Other regular casinos, they have a regular room where it's separate from, you don't hear ding, 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 ding.
Yeah.
And that place is open. And they don't really, that's the first time I did, and the last time I did a show over there. It was like, I don't think I'd go back over there.
Yeah. No, it was fun. It was a challenge, but it was fun. I marked it off my my bucket list.
Your
casino.
bucket list is
Yeah.
What else do you want to go do that you haven't done before?
I do want to do like an actual like runner shows. I haven't been out to like El Paso, Dallas. Haven't done Dallas yet. But yeah, I still have like that whole like rock and roll like lifestyle. Like hit the road, do line up of shows and stuff.
This is March, and this is really bad for my allergies. Allergies are killing me. And then, it's funny because before I left, I was like halfway driving down 410. I go, did I use my Flonase? I mean, I'm going to be all right. I have water.
Yeah.
Water. But there was like a run we used to do, a short run. It was, there was a booking out of somewhere, South Carolina. So I used to do these shows. We're in Lufkin, Texarkana, Little Rock, Jonesboro, Arkansas. I mean, it's just like one night, and they're all one-nighters.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, man, some of those, you look at some of those, and it's fun, but, and then I think, because we just got done doing a week in Colorado Springs at the Comedy Club. And so that's why we were driving. So we were done. Sunday night was our last show. So Tuesday night was the next show. So, excuse me. So we took off from there, and we drove from Colorado Springs all the way to Lufkin.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, dude, long drive.
Yeah.
And so then you get there. The only thing I hate is doing road shows where there aren't any airports. Those are the ones I hate.
Okay.
Where you can't fly into some places.
Yeah,
you have to
yeah.
drive like, oh.
Yeah, those are rough. The like middle of nowhere type of places and stuff. I mean, I'll do them. I've done them. But yeah, those are
small
rough.
towns. See, and I think what's tough is small towns are really tough, and it's tough because they're not accustomed to going to the clubs on a regular basis, like in the cities.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, if Chicago, L.A., Dallas, Denver, Houston, those cities, to me, San Antonio, they're easy.
Mm-hmm.
They're easy to. L.A., I remember L.A., and there's, dude, you talking about great comedy. You were talking about Austin?
Mm-hmm.
Dude, do a showcase in L.A. at the Improv. I did the Improv. I did the
Ice House.
Ice House. I did the other one on. No, I didn't do the Comedy Store. I've never done the Comedy Store.
Mm-hmm.
But, dude, those. I mean, you're talking about comics that
Mm-hmm.
are seasoned, great comics, and you're like, I know when I did the Ice House, and I used to do the Ice House on not a regular basis, but at least twice a year.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember one year when my wife went up there, she was nervous because I was like the second to the last comic because because you're like they have the feature comic as the last one, and the second is like you're the second feature comic, or whatever. But everybody that's going up before you, they're all good,
Mm-hmm.
and so she was just like nervous, like, oh my God. She goes, man, these people are really good. I go, yeah. And so she's nervous. And I was like, but I just knew the crowd was going to be, and dude, once you went up there, from the time you get up there to the time you get off, they're just laughing hard and they're real close to you.
Yeah.
I mean, at one time they said that they weren't going to be taking, or a lot of the clubs weren't using like videos that people would take from the Ice House because like the Ice House was like too easy. Like,
really?
Angela Johnson, she did that one with the nail bit. Dude, but that was so funny. And she's like she blew up like with one video.
Yeah.
But she works so hard, and I think she's so good. To do what she's done, there's always comics that are people that are, if you're doing well, people are going to hate the fact that you're doing well. You could be friends. And
I try to. I mean, I still do it, but I have a little jealousy. Like, and then I was like, oh, just let them do it. They're fine. They're doing their thing.
Yeah. Y'all see. because do you, Scott and Jake, y'all work this? Because I know you all do the podcast, but y'all work a lot together.
We're starting to. We just did a show in Corpus, the Dude Man Homie Bro show.
How'd that go?
It was great, dude. Really? It was great. Again, I was nervous because we never been to Corpus. It was my first time doing Corpus Mesquite. It was a small room.
The crowds are good though. Was it upstairs or downstairs?
Upstairs.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, but it was great. I felt bad because like there was a couple that they had to be on something. It wasn't just alcohol, but they would like not stop laughing, which usually is what you want. Yeah. But they were they were nonstop, and I felt bad because I was like, "Don't make me ask you to leave," because they were right by the stage, and like nobody else was like vibing as hard as they were vibing.
Right.
And so I just suggested that they maybe like chill out a bit. So they got up and laughed and started cussing me out from the back. Not disturbing the show, but I knew that they were talking to Danielle.
Yeah.
And like, we come to these shows all the time, blah, blah, blah. Like,
you asked them?
I asked them, like, don't make me ask you, because they wouldn't let me continue my jokes. They were just like rolling, like, it was distracting. It was so bad. I felt bad because like apparently they're like a huge comedy fans and all this stuff. And I was like, but what a jerk to like, you're having too much fun. I need you to go.
We don't need your kind here laughing.
Yes,
this is a comedy club. Why are you interrupting my flow?
Because I just felt bad for the rest of the audience because like they weren't having as much fun as this couple was having.
Let me tell you what's weird about that. A lot of times too, when people hear other people laughing, it encourages them to laugh too.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But then as soon as
the hyena family in the front, please.
Yeah. But as soon as they laughed and stuff, the crowd wasn't really messing with me. I was like, man, I need them back.
Yeah.
They load me off. Just kind of like, yeah. And she talked to me afterwards. She's like, I just thought you were really funny. Like, I'm sorry. I was like, no, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to like call you out like that, but it was just I couldn't continue. I couldn't like. There's a flow. There's I
didn't know if you were laughing at me or laughing at me.
Yeah.
So just like
because they sometimes they would just go into their own little thing and just have like a funny conversation between themselves, which I'm like, hey.
Okay, yeah. Oh, okay. So that could be different.
It was a mixture of like they were having too much fun. They were interjecting their own jokes with each other, and it was just I felt bad for like asking them to leave. I've never asked somebody who was having a good time to leave the comedy show.
All of a sudden you go, man. Well, how did I start losing? I lost 2 people on my Facebook, 2 people on my Instagram. Followers. You're losing followers.
Yes, dude. It's like the comic that's anti-comedy.
Yeah.
But nah, man.
So who headlined that show? Is it?
I closed it out. Well, Scott and I both did a half hour.
Okay.
So yeah, but it was cool, man. We're trying to do more shows like that, more Dude Man Homie Bro shows, and yeah, man.
Well, what I'm trying to do is get at least 2 nights in a row because I just don't want to go all the way out to. Maybe we were talking about going to maybe Odessa.
Yeah.
And San Angelo because Odessa would be good on a Friday. They have. In fact, I got to ask Mike again about that place. There's a brewery place that's really cool.
Yeah.
Really nice. Now, they have a back room for comedy. Or not, I shouldn't say for comedy. It's like a
separate room.
A separate room.
Yeah.
So, but they used it. We used it for comedy that night. And they had a DJ there.
Mm-hmm.
So the DJ was playing the music and just kind of, and so they set up the sound. That's another thing, too. Just, how much do you want to do on the road where you're going to, if you go places like, I don't want to take my sound equipment. I don't want to do everything.
Yeah.
It's just like, I mean, that's where you just get lazy because, when you talk about bands take everything. All that stuff. Man, we're comedy as a whole, man, comics are just like, really? You're not going to bring anything? You just walk up to do your mic and then, good night, everybody. And they're the ones putting everything up.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And San Angelo's always good. There always great shows out there.
Yeah.
People are good.
We did do Odessa, but we were only doing like 10 minutes. It wasn't really our show. We just so happened to all be on the same show. And that was rough. The first comic went up and just started like yelling at this one crowd or this one group of guys.
Stop laughing. No, just kidding.
No, because apparently they were like, she thought they were hitting on her and her daughter. Her daughter's 21. Oh. And so I don't know what happened, but like she spent her whole 10 minutes like, fuck it. And I was like, damn, dude, this is a comedy show. Like it's a rough start. And so we lost the crowd. We never got the crowd back, really. I had some fun moments, but it was just, so we haven't done Odessa properly, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it'll be fun. But thanks for doing this. Like again, you were one of I asked you to do the podcast because I I do appreciate it because like you were the first one to take me on the road, dude. I did my first road shows with you. Yeah, and you and Larry were the first people to take me on the road. And so I was like stoked. The first show that we went to, where was Cena Ray? Where was that?
That was in McAllen.
McAllen, okay.
Yeah.
I took all of my equipment and stuff, and I was like, hey, man, we should podcast after the show. And you're just like, nah. I was like, okay, no, never mind. I was just kidding.
Dude, I'm going to drink after the show. And, I think those people, because of those, it was funny because when the show was about to start, we had nobody there.
Yeah.
I was like, and I was saying, don't worry, this is McAllen. They're all going to come in at the last minute.
Yeah.
And then sure enough, and we had a decent crowd.
That was fun.
And then the bars are all next door, so just go there next door. The rooms are nice. It's just that was McAllen. I'm trying to think. Where else did we go? Oh, but we didn't drive together. We drove separately because I went with Jesse. When we did Eagle Pass.
Oh yeah.
But didn't we do another place out of town?
We've done like 3 or 4 road shows.
I was gonna say there's some other ones that was Laredo one of them?
Maybe Laredo.
Yeah, because now a lot of these guys are doing shows in Laredo and stuff, which is good. Dude, that's another place. I've been doing Laredo for years, and we've gone to different parts of the city. Everything's been it's not that big.
Yeah,
but. That's cool. No, yeah, we'll be doing some more stuff together.
Yeah, for sure, dude.
And glad I was finally on the podcast.
Well, I'm glad you were finally on the podcast too, man. Like I have fun talking. Like sometimes you'll just call me. We'll just talk comedy for a while and stuff. So this is good work. This is a good way to hang out and stuff. Promote anything. You got to promote anything coming up?
I've got a couple of church shows, but they're church shows. They're not really talking about. We don't talk about Bruno, Father Bruno on this thing.
And then your radio show, you said you got a radio show
the
going?
Big Tortilla Morning Show, which is you can find on puresanantoniotalk.com Monday through Friday. So we do a show every morning, morning show. Excuse me, let me get this out. So it's with Rio and Reyes, Megan Bishop, Bob Garcia, Lee Wood, and Lisa. And it's always funny. And it's funny because it's the things that happen around town and these are retired guys that just old radio guys, and it's funny because their format is so different.
Yeah.
Because it's like break into the weather, but there's a guy that's taped that's doing it, and so we'll talk about things that are happening, even concerts and stuff. Because dude, when I look back at concerts, I think I've seen everybody. These guys have seen almost everybody.
Yeah.
I was there when Little Richard was on. I was like, what? Little Richard? I was like, but it's fun, and then you find out later on. Because like with you guys, and when I'm hanging out and we're doing shows, I'm the old guy, and then when I'm with them, I'm like the young guy on the show.
It's nice, huh?
Yeah, it's nice. It feels good. It feels good for a change.
Yeah. Well, cool, man. Thanks for stopping by, and we'll see you next time.
All right.
Laters.
But he rumbled and stumbled.